Welcome one and all to March's entry for Tycoon news. This month has been a quieter month in terms of new games. However, the large amount of new releases and colossal amounts of new content for already released games have definitely distracted from that fact. Currently, however, I am running out of time. I have to jet off somewhere, so we're just gonna jump right into the news. This month, the popular startup company dove headfirst into its 22nd beta release. This new release included a whole host of new additions to the game, including a new and improved office, which raises the maximum employee limit to 400 employees at one point in time. Some other notable mentions in this update was the new manual saving option, improvements to employee management, switching schedules, contracts, and much more. To read the full list, yes, the full list of additional updates within the beta 22, you can follow the links posted down in the description. Posted down in the description. Yep. Yeah, that's English. That is definitely English. Next up, we look into the absolutely abysmal release of a decently popular smartphone tycoon. While Smartphone Tycoon launched this time last year as a popular Android and iOS game amassing a number of 2 million downloads on Android alone, the PC iteration is yet to receive the same fanfare, however, launching with a price of £5 in the UK, and no real changes, modifications, or even bug fixes in that time over its mobile predecessor. There were many disappointed gamers, to say the least. Reviews currently sit on Steam at mixed, with the main complaint citing that the same bugs on Android crop up on the PC version as well, and the lack of real additional gameplay out with making a generic smartphone, making the game not very fun long-term or anything else really. It's a very restrictive process, is what many people have said. Personally, while I love the concept and the game idea itself, the execution of the game is absolutely atrocious in my mind, and I would urge you to look at better games out there, such as City Game Studio instead. Moving along, we have our Guest of the Month segment again, where someone's going to recommend you their favorite game. This month we have Raptor. If you don't know who he is, links will be down below, but I'll let him introduce himself and introduce his favorite Tycoon game.
Hello everyone, Raptor here, and thanks to FalsePhoenix for having me on the show. One of the greatest Tycoon games of all time must of course be Rollercoaster Tycoon. Yes, of course, when you're building your own amusement park and making money from entertaining others, just like a YouTuber, you can have so much fun building your own roller coasters and saving them to use them later, designing your own thrill rides, and customizing everything to your liking, including decorations. What could possibly go wrong? Well, lots can go wrong sometimes, depending on how you plan, but that's what's all part of the fun. That's why I love Rollercoaster Tycoon, all of the sequels, and of course, even some spin-off games. They're not as great as the original, but there's always room for improvement, just like in your park. With many scenarios, and with it being available on Steam for a very low price with very positive reviews, this is the very best game I can think of.
Moving along, I want to mention the recent release of a highly anticipated game, Factory Town. Factory Town released earlier this month to very positive reviews on Steam. Congratulations to the developer for that. And since release, the game has received 3 updates, consisting of a series of bug fixes and improvements to both performance and translations. If you, yes you, don't know what Factory Town is, or have somehow never heard of it, how could you not, would be my first question. But, moving back to the script, Factory Town is, well, it is a game where you have to turn a town into a highly automated industrial mega complex in the heart of the wilderness by building innovative new technology and using the environment to the best of your ability. Next up, we take a look at Server Tycoon, an upcoming game where you, yes you, have the job of managing, building, and maintaining a growing fleet of server farms, offering services to the masses, all while facing competition, challenges, and even cyber attacks from your competitors. Server Tycoon, however, currently only exists in the footage that we have seen from its Indiegogo page, which also includes a series of support bundles and some intriguing stretch goals as well. Their initial funding goal is for £8,600 here in the UK. However, one main thing to note is the fact that their prototypes shown in the videos above and on their Indiegogo page and YouTube page and everything else are being built on a mobile app, which they say they are using to prototype the idea before focusing on a PC game after the Indiegogo page is a hopeful success. So, if Server Tycoon is something that interests you, I recommend you follow the links below and find out more and consider signing up if you want to. Next up, we take another look at City Game Studio, which after its successful launch has begun to receive its promised early access support and updates. The game released to a mostly positive set of Steam reviews, with many citing its complex gameplay and good developer support and communication as staples of a great gameplay experience, and a great gameplay experience that is to come through early access as well. Since launch, however, the game has received almost daily updates to patch out a myriad of bugs and some new features, alongside new translations being added. Feature-wise, the game has received some big updates, such as a happiness feature for staff and an auto-furnish mode, amongst other things. Personally, I really did enjoy City Game Studio, and I hope that when you definitely do buy it, because you definitely do should, that you will too. Moving swiftly along, we are taking a quick glance at Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, the highly hyped game released earlier this month to very positive reviews over on Steam with an 81% average rating level. If you haven't heard of the game, then it is a so-called ultimate real-time Soviet-themed city builder / tycoon game, where you are tasked with constructing your own republic from the ground up to transform this poor country into a worldwide superpower hell-bent on world domination. I mean, well, if that's what you want, then you probably will want to buy the game. However, I haven't gotten around to playing it myself yet, being on an extended break myself. Anyway, however, I've been told it's a great game that people are really enjoying, so if it's something that sounds interesting to you, then I'd recommend you buy it. Although, personally, I've never found the Soviet Republic an interesting thing that I want to experience in a game. Moving along to what I would consider a change in the natural order of Tycoon news, we have a different thing this time. Yeah, a different kind of story idea. This month, Discord released a new set of tools for developers which work in tandem with verified game servers and their Discord storefront pages. These changes include store pages for games in early access, with the ability to run alpha and beta testing through Discord servers. This being something that's done in a series of early access Tycoon games that we look at highly regularly here as well. The update also introduced some neat graphics in verified servers and some neat news pages within servers. To find out more and read the pages on this, you can find them linked below. And if you are a developer, I would say this looks like a very interesting and great way to engage a growing community around your game, and a great way to test the game. I don't know if I'm not a developer, haven't used these things myself, but from what I've been told, they seem pretty interesting. Next up, we have a status update from Halfway Decent Games, a studio with the awesome name that is developing Metropolism, which has a release date set for some point this year. If you haven't heard of the game, it's a deeply complex city building and management simulation game with some awesomely cute graphics and a series of great gameplay features to help you zone, build, and manage a budding town into an ever-growing mega city with a population well into the 10 million range. If you are a fan of any SimCity games up until this point, then this is definitely something you should be adding to your wish list, and then having a heated discussion with your next door neighbor before driving to the city center and screaming about it to everyone and everything that moves an inch. All in all, I think this definitely has a great potential to be a great game. From the limited footage and information we currently have, given that limited information and limited footage, I wouldn't bank everything on the game quite yet. Like the person who had a heated description of his neighbor and then decided to drive into town and scream about it. But yes, I would be very excited for the game if I were you, or if you were me, really. Jumping into our next story, we take a fly past Sim Airport, which is still receiving a series of updates despite its recent 2-year launch anniversary. At the time of speaking, the game has mostly positive reviews on Steam. By launch anniversary, I mean early access launch anniversary. Some of the game's recent updates to mark its anniversary consisted of the addition of a series of new tutorials to the game, an overhaul to the staff management and scheduling system, an overhaul again to the retail system, and the addition of underground roads. This is only a small snippet of the massive amount of changes, bug fixes, and updates the game received this past month, with it taking me over 10 to 20 minutes to read myself. It's a very, very large page. I do recommend you take a look at the site's link below for further information of what an awesome Tycoon game and what an awesome management game this definitely will be and still is. Lastly, we take another look at Blockchain Tycoon. Blockchain Tycoon is a Bitcoin-focused game which released at the back end of last year. The game centers around you turning your basement into a world-dominating cryptocurrency mining operation, which spans around the globe. Since launch, it has received a series of improvements and updates to build upon the original concept, including the addition of your own cryptocurrency maintenance and maintainability, and the depreciation of other coins. Alongside this, there has also been a series of optimizations and bug fixes to the game. So if Bitcoin mining is something that you are interested in, or you would enjoy the idea of making your own Bitcoin or blockchain as well, then this is definitely something you should be checking out down below. However, that is the end of today's Tycoon news video, this month's Tycoon news video. If you enjoyed it, tell me down below, like the video, and tell me anything you didn't like in the comments. We always want to improve these videos. If you want more Tycoon news, we had the recent News Bites, which is a great new concept from a fellow friend on Discord, Unseen Shadow, who it's kind of his protege? Is protege the right word? I don't know. He's working on that more than I am, and it's definitely something that looks very interesting. That'll hopefully be appearing more often than Tycoon news itself. We'll find out as time moves on. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of Tycoon news, this time next month.